Hey, welcome to Sports and Politics with T. I'm your host, Tanya. Tonight we have made it back to Thursday, guys. Listen, I hope everybody's enjoyed their week so far. We have made it. It is January 1st, 2026. Happy New Year, guys! That's right. We have made it to 2026, y'all. 2025 is over. Look, I know everybody's excited for the brand new year. I know I am. I am excited about the things that is going to be taking place with this channel. We are making some different changes as far as implementing some new things going on for this channel. We are going to talk about a little bit later on in the video some things that we talked about last week as far as implementing new shows, new ideas, and getting feedback from the audience. I am getting questions in my inbox saying that they want to see a little bit more videos as far as the fun and entertainment with T. So that's something that I think we may implement as well. But first, guys, again, I hope everybody is enjoying their day. This is the first episode of 2026, guys. And look, I'm excited. Like I said, I feel like this is going to be a brand new year. This is going to be something that I feel is going to be a better year, hopefully, for everyone, right? 2025 was not the best year when it came to the economy. It was not the best year for the American people in general. A lot of job losses, a lot of people losing benefits and housing and food and just some of everything. And so this year still has a little bit of uncertainty. We don't know exactly how the Trump administration is going to maneuver through this country to see how Americans are going to, make it, because it was really, really rough, especially the second half of 2025. But I am optimistic, guys. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm hoping and praying that things will get better. I'm praying that, more blessings would come out for everyone. And listen, even with this show, like I said, we are going to implement some things that I saw in my inbox, okay? So I do look at the emails. I do look at, people, just giving me suggestions. And trust me, I like suggestions. I like people chiming in and telling me what they feel about certain things. And, one of the suggestions and one of the things that one of my subscribers had emailed me and say, hey, we like fun and entertainment. Can we get maybe one more episode, instead of just Saturdays? Can we do maybe twice a week on that too? So I am thinking about that. I'm thinking we're going to add another show maybe on Wednesday. So we'll have Sports and Politics with T on Monday and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And then on Wednesday and Saturday, we'll do the fun and entertainment with T, on those sectors, talking about relationships, entertainment news, all the fun stuff. So I think we're going to implement one more day. That way it won't be so long and it won't be just once a week. We'll have at least twice a week for both channels. All right. So I think we'll start that starting next Wednesday. You're going to see an extra episode in the week. All right. But yes, guys. So tonight we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about this special. This is with Willie D. Willie D, he was with the old rap group in the 90s called the Ghetto Boys. And they did songs like, My Mind is Playing Tricks on Me, and, things like that. And the lead rapper was Scarface. And then you had Bushwick Bill. All three of them were the Ghetto Boys. Okay, so Willie D, he has his own special or own podcast on YouTube. And tonight we're going to talk about Donald Trump. He accidentally left his microphone on and he thought it was cut off. And of course, they said some things under their breath that he didn't realize he was being recorded with. So, which is not a surprise, right? But let's look at this article with Willie D. And then we're going to break this video down once it's over. And also at the end of this show, at the second half, we're going to talk about the KKK. Yes. And this is with Rashad Ritchie. He is going to be talking about how the KKK is starting their own church and is going to be renaming. They're not going to be under the KKK anymore. It's going to be a rebranding. So we're going to talk about that at the end of this show, okay? But yes, guys, so let's go ahead and get started for tonight. Again, this is with Willie D and his podcast. I'm going to let you know how I feel about this, and then we'll break this video down once it's over.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Donald Trump, your president, has a fixation with circling back to the same old grievances. It does not matter the setting, does not matter how serious the occasion is. He's always complaining about something or someone. So, in the spirit of the new year, let us circle back to an old grievance. Check him out.
So one of the big domestic tasks that ahead of you is to pick a new chairman for the Fed. You've said that you have one favorite, but you're also doing your
Are you, is there any
we're doing numbers as nobody's ever seen. We have $18 trillion coming in. We had a 4.3% GDP. They thought it was going to be 2%. And that's despite the Democrat shutdown. Had the shutdown not occurred, we would have had an extra point and a quarter.
Let's stop right there. Remember, fam, Donald Trump's words. The president is responsible for the shutdown. When he was campaigning to be president, out of his mouth, he said, if there's a shutdown, it falls on the president. The president has an obligation to gather the troops, bring everybody together. That's what he said. But now, since he's the president of the United States and there is a shutdown, now he blames it on the Democrats.
Think of that. We are doing, and also despite the fact that we have a fool at the Federal Reserve. I mean, Biden reappointed him. It's too bad. You would have thought he wouldn't have done that. But he's an absolute fool who's building a new Federal Reserve, or he's doing a renovation of a building. Maybe he's up to $4.1 billion to do a renovation of a few very small buildings. It's the highest price in the history of construction. He's spending more money than any...
That was a lie. I explained that on the previous video.
...than any building.
The highest price so far for a construction in the United States was somewhere around $450 billion, not $4 billion. But you know, Trump ain't that good with numbers.
Building has ever spent per square foot on the renovation of, as an example, I'm doing a magnificent, big, beautiful ballroom that the country's wanted, the White House has wanted for 150 years. It's a massive job.
Nobody wanted that damn ballroom but Donald Trump.
And it's a tiny fraction of that number. And we're under budget and ahead of schedule. Now it's bigger than I told you. After realizing we're going to do the inauguration in that building, it's got all bulletproof glass. It's got all drone, they call it drone-free roof. So drones won't touch it. It's a big, beautiful, safe building.
Do you see, I'm sorry, I'm just going to chime in for just a second. Do you see where, when it's another president and they do a shutdown, right, and Willie D just said it, that he blames the president, right? Okay, but when he was president, or he is president now, when he did a shutdown last year, he wants to blame now it's the Democrat side. Okay, you are responsible for the shutdown. End of discussion. Okay, he is still pointing the finger, even though he's the leader of all the decision making that's going on right now. Okay, He even talked about the ballroom. Nobody wanted that ballroom but him. Something that's wasting money, wasting tax dollars again, but this is something that he wants. And if as long as it's something that he wants, he doesn't care, okay? But let it be, let's say Obama, or let's say it'll be Biden. If they decide to do something, it'll be wasteful spending, okay? So listen in on this and then we'll dissect it right at the end.
But it's, it's a big budget for a tiny fraction that we're under budget and ahead of schedule. And they wanted it for 150 years. Think of it, the Federal Reserve building, 2 buildings there.
Yeah, do you ever come across somebody who just lies to be lying? Like, he's lying as if you don't know he's lying. But Trump lies so much. I think that he's resolved to the fact that I'm going to tell this lie, and I don't care if they know it's a lie, because what are they going to do about it? The reporters are afraid to ask him questions or challenge him. Bunch of cowards.
They don't know what they're doing. They're way over budget. I mean, almost, this was built during the Biden administration, and I wrote by it the other day, and it's headed by the head of the Federal Reserve. Too late, too late, Powell.
I'm sorry. It's sad that he lies like this, and he really thinks that people believe him. That's what really gets me. And trust me, there might be a few people that really do buy into everything that he's saying, but he loves to exaggerate and he loves to paint the picture like everything is great, when in reality, it's a disaster, right? And this is the main problem. He is out of touch with the American people.
Too late, because he's always too late with interest rates, except before the election. It was too early, because that would have helped. That was supposed to help get her elected. It had no impact. We won all seven.
All right, I'm done with this clip, this particular clip, fam. It's just very difficult to listen to, because this guy is the president of the United States, and we're not getting anywhere with his rhetoric. We're not getting anywhere because he focuses more on his enemies than he do his allies. He focuses more on what he doesn't have than what he has.
Yep.
And that is true. He doesn't know when to tell the truth, even if his life depended on it, so.
Called the home equity agreement, and I got 143,000.
He focuses more on complaints and gratitude. Always talking about the Democrats and the dude who came before him. Family. Ladies, let me talk to y'all. Imagine being in a relationship and the guy you with consistently brings up the old guy. How would that make you feel? This is what it's like listening to Donald Trump. So here's the latest of his gotcha moments where he was caught with a hot mic. Yeah, man, he was talking to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and he was going over his grievances about not getting the Nobel Peace Prize. He really wants that Nobel Peace Prize. And then he started just going off the rails, talking about something else, and everybody was just sitting there looking like, and mind you, fam, these are grown men sitting at the table, scared to death, scared to say something. They're scared to have an emotion outside of an emotion that he might expect. Ooh, man. And these guys are who we call leaders. Check it out.
To both of them. I said, we're going to cut you off. No more trade. Then I put 200% tariffs on. The next day they called. We lived 35 years of fighting, and they accept. Do I get credit for it now? They gave me, I did 8 of them. India, how about India and Pakistan? And then, so I did 8 of them. And then I'll tell you the rest of it. How are you doing, okay? You gonna all be outside?
So that's when he got caught. That's when he realized that the mic was on. He tried to be smooth with it and play it off. Oh, how you doing? You okay? What'd you hear? You didn't hear too much, did you? Wow, man. This dude is the worst of the worst. And he's the president of the United States. I would have never thought we'd go backwards like this. Yeah.
Outside, the beautiful sun. Good. Enjoy your lunch. This is a very good group. We've made a lot of progress already. We had about a 5-minute meeting and we've already settled about 3 of the difficulties. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. They can't get enough. Well, they can't. I just think so.
Yeah. They can't get enough of the buffoonery. They can't get enough.
Let me say something too about this meeting. You notice they have no expression on their faces at all. These people are leaders of every country that's sitting around that table, right? And trust me, they all talk too. You don't think that those people get together when Donald Trump leaves. You don't think those men and those and that woman and everybody at that table get together and talk about him? Trust me, they do. Okay, and it's not always good stuff. I can guarantee you that. See, this is the thing. He lies so much that he's out of reality. He doesn't even know when the truth is the truth because he tells so many lies, you know? And it's really sad when this is your leader. This is who is representing the United States of America, okay? So, but anyway, we're going to move on to the Rashad Ritchie article. And this is something that the people are really been talking about the last, I'm gonna say 2 or 3 days, about the KKK renaming their name and creating a new church. Can you believe they have their own church? How does that work? But anyway, we're gonna break this video down and let's debunk some myths about biblical teachings and things like that. Again, we're gonna go ahead and break it down as soon as this video is complete.
People think you got to be a Klan member to come to our church. And we're a church.
This is Thomas Robb, the Grand Wizard of the KKK, or as he likes to put it, the National Director. See, the Ku Klux Klan is currently going through a rebrand. Instead of calling themselves the KKK, they now call themselves the Knights Party. And Thomas Robb doesn't like to call himself the Grand Wizard. Instead, he's chosen a more subtle PR approach, the National Director.
We don't have a sign, everybody welcome, because everybody's not welcome to our church.
So you got a church, right? But not everybody is welcome to this church. What kind of church is this? This is going to be a racist, segregated, Ku Klux Klan church, okay? They are talking about, they're going to be calling themselves the Knights now. And again, you're still racist. It doesn't matter what you call yourself, okay? It doesn't matter if you're the KKK, the skinheads. Everybody knows who you are, okay? But anyway, let's keep going.
Something that no one has ever really talked about is the fact that Thomas Robb is not only the Grand Wizard of the KKK, he's also a pastor.
I have more footage, but the fact that the Ku Klux Klans have a church is already disturbing. And their church isn't a welcome all church. Let's not go that far. But you don't necessarily have to be a Klansman to come and worship white Jesus at the KKK church. There's more.
I asked him if a black man could go to heaven, and this is Thomas Robb deflecting that question for 13 minutes.
The Bible doesn't address black people. Hardly at all.
So does that mean then, so your belief is the Bible was written by white people to white people?
In modern terms, written by Israelites.
I mean, it's a very generic way of putting it, but yeah.
Written by Israelites to Israel.
So would an Israeli be welcome in your church?
Probably not.
Okay, so an Israelite, which is related to Jesus, what they're saying is even if you're Israelite or you're from Israel, which are usually the holy people, the chosen people of the Bible, no, you're not welcome either. You have to be white, Caucasian. That's it. That's all they accept. Let me say something about this whole idea about the Bible and black people and people of color. First of all, if they really knew the history and the origin of the Bible, they would realize that, first of all, Jesus was a man of color, okay? He is not white. It's depicted in Scripture, in Revelations to be exact. All right? Hair of wool, white wool. Eyes of flaming fire. Skin of bronze. He had webbed feet, like they were burned in a furnace. That doesn't sound like somebody who is Caucasian. Blonde hair, blue eyes. No. In fact, most of the people in the Bible was people of color. And we'll get to that a little bit later.
Y'all out. The man basically said Jesus would not be welcome in the church. That's how racist this man is.
Again, he's Hebrew, Israel. He's an Israelite. He's Hebrew. But he just said that he's not welcome either. I mean, you're contradicting yourself. Well, you're already contradicting yourself anyway by having a racist church. Okay? God is not racist. He doesn't see color. Okay? He died for the world, John 3:16. All right? Now, if he really knew Scripture, and see, this is the thing. This is where they take Scripture and they twist it to fit their narrative. White supremacy. Okay? White is right. We are supreme. God has to be white. How can he be of color? You know? So again, they don't study their history.
He wouldn't allow Jesus in the church, but will worship a white version of Jesus on a picture.
Yeah.
Now that's called racist dedication. And he was honest. He said,
He's right. He's racist dedication. He's dedicated to white only. Okay? He has to be all the way blonde hair or brown hair with blue eyes or the long flowing. That's not what is depicted. That's not what Scripture says he looks like. In fact, let's look at what people in the Bible look like. Y'all want to see what they really look like? Let's take a look at it, because I'm so tired of this whole argument of what color are the people. It doesn't really matter the color, but I'm just pointing out the facts as far as what the color actually is of the people of the Bible. because I think some people really do think that people are just making this up as we go, right? Okay, so now let me show you something real quick here. In fact, let's listen to a sermon from uh, Jimmy, what was his name? Billy Graham. I'm sorry. This was in 1971. He is a white man evangelist saying this. Watch this.
Take a look, as low as $22 a month for car insurance. Your insurance company doesn't want you to see
planet out of existence in the universe. And Jesus said, no, to this end was I born. And he dragged and lifted and hauled that cross. And don't you black people ever forget one thing. The man that helped Jesus carry that cross was a black man.
Who helped carry the cross was a black man? This is coming from Billy Graham, 1971.
And don't ever forget another thing. Jesus belongs to Africa.
Did you hear what he just said?
As much as he does to Europe and Asia. He was born in that part of the world that touches Africa and Asia and Europe, and Jesus was not a white man like me.
Did you hear what he said? This is a white evangelist telling you he is not white.
Nor was he as black as some of you. We don't know what the color of his skin, but it must have been a dark color like the people of his day, because he was a man like them. Don't ever say it's a white man's religion or a black man's religion. It's a world religion. He belongs to the world.
Now, he says he's not all the way white. Well, he's not white, but he's dark. Okay. Listen to this guy here.
Jesus wasn't white. And he didn't speak English. And he was Jewish. And he's very different than me.
So you got a lot of people saying Jesus is not white. Why is people so shocked about it? And honestly, it really doesn't matter what color Jesus is. Okay, skin color doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm tying this in because I want you to see he is of a dark hue. He may not be African American, but he's not Caucasian as far as how they depicted him. In fact, people of the Bible, most of them are coming from the Sudan Hebrew area, and most of them were fairly dark skinned for the most part. Look at the articles, look at the Mona Lisa and the facts back in the day, how they look. And you'll see for yourself that this is what they look like.
Black people in the Bible. Time to blow your mind. Check it out. Let's start with everyone's favorite Bible character, Jesus. Yes, his hair and his hair were white like wool. So the color of his hair was white. Let's not ignore the fact that it says his feet was likened unto fine brass as if they were burnt in a furnace.
Burnt in a furnace. He is dark. I'm not saying he's a black man. I'm just saying he is not Caucasian.
So his feet were dark. I believe the reason why feet was emphasized is because he was in his glorified body. And maybe the face of Jesus was too much for John to see, so all he saw was his dark feet. And Jesus felt it important enough for John to write how he looked. Oh, maybe that's why when King Herod the Edomite was having all the Hebrew babies killed, the angel of the Lord told Joseph and Mary to take Jesus into Egypt. Egypt is in Africa. Before the European Greco-Rome colonization, they were all dark melanated people. Realize that olive skin only comes when white people are sun-kissed. Movies on Tubi, subscribe and follow. black people in the
Okay, so there you have it right here. So the thing with the KKK, see, they're gonna get a rude awakening, once that door closes and they realize that, oh my God, we've been wrong this entire time. Yeah, you have been wrong. I think that's one reason why as black people we get persecuted so bad and we get treated so bad because we realize who really is in control of all of this. I'm just being honest. Um, but it is what it is. I mean, people need to know the truth, okay? They really need to know the truth. I'm going to look at one more article. This is from back in 1990, I think, two. And I had looked at this maybe a couple years ago. And Blair Underwood, he was the actor that was on this. And they had a discussion about what color is Jesus. Let's listen to this.
Hi, Blair. Hi.
Young African American males with the so-called justice system. And when the Rodney King, the first verdict came out a year ago, it hit me. I said, it doesn't matter if you're a so-called celebrity.
I'm sorry.
Brothers or sisters. Great. But they're still white. I think you are suggesting that there's some pretty good historical anthropological evidence suggesting that Jesus just probably was black. Am I correctly stating your?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
In that,
was he a Jewish black guy?
There's no question. We're talking about a Jewish man from Jerusalem who more than likely, there were no camcorders or Polaroid cameras then, but more than likely had to have been a man of color. We're talking about probabilities.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, Phil. I just want to say that when God said he was going to make man in his image, he did not mean white, green, or any color. It was supposed to be spiritually like him.
Very good.
And that's what is important.
Yes, well.
Thank you, Phil.
Hold it. Yeah. Okay. No, that's, I'll tell you, caller, I very much appreciate your thoughtful comment, except you are kissing a baby here. And you're waving a flag. These politically active people who want to, as you'll see in a moment, there are people who are taking down the white Jesus because he has been presented for 2,000 years before peoples of all color as a Caucasian, European.
I got through.
Oh, you got two lines coming in on one. That's a pretty good sign, Larry. You've kind of rung the bell here with the phone call. So please don't miss the point. It's not enough to say, hey, we're all God's children. If you continue to present Jesus this way before little African American children or people of color all over the world, they grow up somehow believing that way down inside, white is better.
Plus the fact that we're talking about the historical figure. We are created in God's image, but this man, Jesus, the actual human being we're speaking of.
Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am.
You wanted to say?
Yeah, I wanted to say I'm a 32-year-old white female who was raised Catholic, and I just have to say that no matter if Jesus is black, white, green, red, I believe in the supreme being, and I think that's what we all have to look at.
May I ask the Catholic this question?
Yes.
Would it be okay with, I assume you're a churchgoer?
Well, no, not as much as I was.
Well, but you've been, all right, well, that's not this, would you approve of your pastor changing the color of Jesus statues to black in your church?
If that was what my church did, then as I don't look at a picture of Jesus and say, oh, that's Jesus. I have a feeling within me that there's a supreme being.
But what color has Jesus been throughout your childhood?
White. And I think that's ridiculous.
What color was his mother?
You know, who knows? And I don't think those people that are on your show
I must tell you this. I'm older than you are, but there were no black statues in my childhood.
Well, right.
Everybody. St. Teresa, Joseph, everybody. The guardian angel was white.
Right, they were all white. And I'm just saying, but just because that's how we were raised doesn't mean that we have to be so narrow-minded and so focused.
Well, see, and that's the thing. They're saying that because they probably don't like the idea that As long as he was just white, it was no big deal. But the fact that now we have facts to point that he is of color, now it doesn't matter. Or why are we talking about this? Well, it matters because you're portraying him in a light that's not correct. You know, we worship him in spirit and in truth. And we have to tell the truth as far as what he looks like. Okay. No different from me being presented as a white woman. I'm not a white woman. I am a black woman. That's very important. Okay. Yes, I don't see color and I don't hate white people, right? However, you can't tell me I am a white woman when I'm really not white. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. They're still conflating the two issues.
I'm sure.
We can't open up our minds and our hearts to something different.
She's missing the point. It is twofold. You have to answer this question twofold. It's important because when you speak of this man, when all the evidence points to that, it's an affirmation of people of color. I'm speaking of Latino, Asian, African Americans, Native Americans, people of color. It's the affirmation of our place in history that we contribute. I'm telling you, people wonder why there are riots and why there are blacks and Latinos in jail so much. There's no self-image. Right. When you deal with revisionist history that's been revised and altered as it has, it deals with your self-image. You don't care about life.
The Reverend George Stallings, now referred to as bishop, former Catholic priest, since has split himself from mainstream Catholicism, has his own church, Washington, D.C. He preaches a sermon. Here he is, Good Friday of this year, the Reverend Stallings from Washington.
We must make one thing clear on this Good Friday, that the Jesus of history that you saw walking up the street just a few minutes ago is only an imposter. The white Christ is only a figment of Michelangelo's imagination. The white Christ is an imposter of white Christianity.
Now, what I'm seeing is we're starting to divide. It's not about dividing people. It's about speaking about the truth. And then, that's the second part of the question. You have to deal with this man. This man was about love. This man was about embracing everybody. This man was about forgiveness. This man was about enlightenment. This man was about tolerance. And that's what this film that we did, The Second Coming, is about. Tolerance for each other and tolerance for each other's religious beliefs.
I like how Blair said that. It's about everybody. You know, that's why I say you have a church that is not inclusive of everybody. You don't represent Christianity. Okay, that's why I say it's contradictory. You can't do that. It's white supremacy. You can't have that in the church. Period. If it's not for all people, then you're contradicting the whole book, the whole message of Christ, right? But anyway, I had to go ahead and get that in because there's so much out here that states that he is of color. And I know they want to present it that way, that he's white. And trust me, if he was really white, I still wouldn't have an issue worshiping him. I wouldn't. But but we can't continue to keep showing him in this light if that's not what he really is. Okay. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the show for tonight. Join me back on Saturday. I will be back with Fun and Entertainment with T at 8 p.m. And look, like I said, we are going to get another episode with Fun and Entertainment starting on Wednesday. We are going to do Wednesdays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. We're going to talk about some fun stuff through the week, too. Not just on Saturday, but on Wednesdays as well. All right. All right. Well, everybody, again, Happy New Year. 2026 is already here. It's going to be a great year. I am excited for everything that's getting ready to take place this year. And I really, really believe that this year is going to be better than last year. All right. So we will see everybody on Saturday at 8 p.m. If you enjoyed the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And also, if you can, please hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any episodes every time I come on to YouTube. I will be back, like I said, Saturday at 8, and we will get back into that relationship sector. Oh, we got some good topics we're going to talk about on Saturday and on Wednesdays. All right. All right. All right, guys. Well, again, everybody enjoy the rest of your night, and I will talk with everyone on Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.